Hey folks, Poverty Point Customs. What we're going to do today is the transmission service on my 2022 Zforce 950 by Cfmoto. And before you do this, you want to let it run for about a couple minutes to let everything warm up. So right now we're currently at 271 kilometers or 11.7 hours. So in my other Cfmotos, I've used the Royal Purple Max Gear 75W90. And 75W90 is what Cfmoto requires, and you got to make sure it has a GL5 rating on it, which this does. You're going to need a 17mm socket and a little bottle like this with the measurements on the side, and you'll see why in a second. So on the right side of your motor, this is where you check your transmission fluid level. This is your engine oil level, and as you can see, transmission oil 75W90 GL5, and it takes 0.6 liters. And if you look underneath your dipstick, right there is your drain plug, and it's going to be a 17mm, and you can access it through the hole in the bottom of your skid plate. So we're going to remove this and drain the fluid. Make sure you have a bucket underneath of it to catch the fluid. And if you take your dipstick out, it will let it drain a lot quicker. Alright, so this drain plug is magnetic. There's our crush washer. You want to make sure that that comes off, and you want to put a new one on. But as you can see, there's a little bit of metal fragments on here. That's not much at all. Again, this is probably its first ever transmission fluid change. So you want to make sure that's nice and clean before you reinstall it. Again, this is going to catch any little metal filings in your transmission. We can leave it on the metal here until we're ready for it. Again, you can see it's magnetic. All right, once the oil's all drained, I'm going to reinstall the drain plug. Again, make sure that surface is nice and clean before you put the drain plug in. So the drain plug's all reinstalled. And we'll pull out the dipstick. And we can put our dipstick in the hole. So the reason I have this fill bottle is it requires 0.6 liters. So what I'm actually going to do, this goes up to 250 milliliters. So I'm going to actually fill this twice and then add another 100 milliliters to get the 600. And then we'll put that in the transmission fill hole. And that way we know we have exactly 600 mils, but we'll also check on the dipstick. And this is exactly 250 mils, so we're going to start off by putting that in. Again, Royal Purple is what I've been using. Some people will use Amsoil, Lucas, or whatnot, so whatever works best for you. Alright, so I've added 500 mils of gear oil in there. So what I'm going to do is check the level before I put the remaining 100 in. So what you want to do to check your level is you want to insert your dipstick. Do not screw it in though. You want it just like that so the threads are touching the surface. And then pull it out and check your level. So right now we're right in the middle, so I'm going to add the remaining 100, and that should put it right at the top of the line right there. It's perfect, right at the top. And like always, you want to run your bike and always check for leaks. Again, this literally took 2 minutes to do. And that's how you change your transmission fluid on a Zforce 950. So this is really, really cheap insurance. This is something that I'm going to be doing quite often, probably after every few rides or every few 100 kilometers for the little expense that it is. So my last video was changing the engine oil and filter. So after this video, the next one is going to be changing the rear and front differential fluid. So make sure to hit that subscribe button And also, like always, if you have any tips or suggestions for myself or other viewers, make sure you post them below. If not, I really appreciate you watching. Take care.